Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. In response to Editor Perry White's urgent telegram, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and young Jimmy Olsen are speeding back to Metropolis aboard the Tri-State Limited, puzzled as to the reason for White's almost frantic summons. As we join them in a drawing room, the cracked Streamlined Express is thundering through the night.
Jimmy, you don't have to finish that box of candy in one sitting.
I've only had 5 pieces.
Only 5 pieces? Now go on, put the cover on the box. That's all we need now is to take you off the train with a stomach ache. Clark,
Yes, Lois?
I don't suppose you've had any bright ideas.
Bright ideas?
You know what I mean. Have you thought of any reasons for Mr. White wanting us back in such a hurry?
Now, look, Lois, it's 10:30 now. We just pulled out of Glenwood. The next stop is Walden Junction and then Metropolis, the end of the line. In exactly 27 minutes, you'll know all the answers.
Really, there are times when you can be the most exasperating person. How you can sit there with your nose buried in a newspaper is beyond me. Haven't you any curiosity?
Maybe the Daily Planet building burned down.
Don't be ridiculous, Jimmy.
Well, you can't tell.
Clark,
Yes?
exactly what did Mr. White say in the telegram?
Well, not very much. I told you.
You weren't very specific.
Well, neither was he.
Maybe a German spy set a bomb off.
Jimmy, little boys should be seen and not heard.
I'm not little, and a German spy could set off a bomb, couldn't he?
Yes, he could. Clark, haven't you any idea what Mr. White wants?
Oh, Lois, I wish you'd stop eating your heart out. We'll know exactly what he wants the moment we get in.
Do you think he'll meet us at the station?
I'm sure I don't know.
Talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. All right, go on, read your paper. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care.
Who's that?
Come in.
Excuse me, I got a telegram from Mr. Kent.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Well, why don't you open it?
I will. It's not going to fly away.
Jimmy, I said no more candy.
Oh, just 1 piece.
I said no more.
Okay.
This is strange.
Strange?
Yes.
What do you mean, Clark?
Another telegram from Mr. White.
Gosh.
What does it say?
Listen. We'll meet you and Jimmy at Walden Junction. Tell Lois to proceed to Metropolis and report at office. Signed, Perry White.
Oh, I don't understand that.
Mr. Kent and me are supposed to...
And I...
Mr. Kent and I are supposed to get off at Walden Junction. That's the next stop. And you're supposed to go on to Metropolis. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Kent?
According to the telegram.
What's the
I
idea?
don't know, Lois. But orders are orders. Now, everything packed, Jimmy?
Yeah, except the candy. I'll carry that.
Clark, what's behind all this?
You know as much about it as I do. Yeah, that sounds like the station whistle. We'll be pulling in a minute or so. Put your coat on, Jim.
Why can't I get off at Walden Junction, too?
Well, I can think of one very good reason. Mr. White wants you to get off at Metropolis.
Something very strange about this whole business. Something I don't like. You're tossing it off much too lightly, Clark.
No, I'm not. But there's one thing you've got to remember, Lois. A good soldier takes orders.
I suppose so.
Come on, Jim. See you at the office, Lois.
Oh, boy. How much longer are we going to hang around the station, Mr. Kent? Gee whiz, that cold wind goes right through me.
Well, go into the waiting room, Jimmy. warm there.
No, I'd rather stick with you.
Yes, I don't understand this at all. That telegram was clear enough.
Oh, are you sure it said to get off at Walden Junction?
Positive. Right. Here it is. Now, let's look at it under that light there. Now,
What does it say?
we'll meet you and Jimmy at Walden Junction.
Well, this is Walden Junction, all right. And here's Mr. White. We've been waiting here for almost... What's the matter, Mr. Kent?
Jimmy, we've been tricked.
Tricked? What do you mean?
This telegram is a fake. It was written on a typewriter. I should have noticed that a long time ago.
Golly. But why should anyone send us a fake
There could only
telegram?
be one reason to separate us from Lois.
You mean...
Now, look, Jimmy, there's no time to waste. You trust me, don't you?
Why, sure.
Now, listen carefully. There's a local train coming through in 15 minutes. Now, here's some money. You buy a ticket and ride into Metropolis.
What?
Go right to the office.
You mean alone?
Yes, I have important work to do, and it must be done fast.
Oh, but
You said you trusted me, Jim.
Okay.
Good boy. Now, you stay in the waiting room until the train pulls in. If you get to the office before I do, keep mum about all this, understand?
Uh-huh.
So long.
So long.
Kick myself for falling for that fake telegram. Well, maybe it's not too late. Maybe I can still catch the limited.
As Superman. Oh, Jimmy can't see me now. Just stepped into the waiting room.
Up, and away!
Streaking through the darkness, Superman follows the steel rails like a bird in flight. Picks up the Tri-State Limited halfway between Walden Junction and Metropolis. Dropping to the darkened observation platform, he enters the train as Clark Kent and hurries to the drawing room in which he left Lois.
Oh, this is it. Drawing room C, car 42. Lois! Lois! That's funny. What? The door's locked. Lois! Lois! I don't understand it. Oh, Porter. Can you unlock this door for me?
Yes, Great day in the morning.
Oh, what's the matter?
Didn't you all get off at Walden Junction?
Yes, but I got on again. Can you unlock this door?
Well, there's a lady in that drawing room.
I know there is. The young lady who was with me. You will remember, don't you?
Yes. Don't you answer?
No. Have you a key?
Yes, sir. Right here. I'll just how you get off at
Hurry,
Walden
please.
Junction. Yes, sir. Right here. There's her. She's open now.
Thank you. The room's empty.
Well, no, sir. That can't be.
I tell you, it's empty.
Oh, the train's halted, then. It's up. Come down.
Yes?
Clark Kent is back, Mr. White.
Oh, here's, is he? Well, you'll send him in. I'll give him a piece of my mind. What's he think we're running here? A high school yearbook?
Hello, Mr. White.
Close the door. Now, Kent, what's the big
Just
idea?
a minute, please. Something serious has happened.
I'm glad you
I'm
realize it.
afraid you don't know what I'm talking about, Mr. White.
Oh, no, of course not. I'm a dope, an addle-pated fool.
Now, just a minute.
I don't understand
If
English.
you can hold your temper in check for a moment, I'd like to discuss something with you.
No, you would. Well, where were you when I returned from Washington?
Now, look.
Did it ever occur to you that I might want to discuss something with you once in a while?
Take it easy, will you? You knew we were at the Barrow Ranch with Jimmy. As a matter of fact, we were just leaving when your telegram arrived.
My telegram?
Yes.
Are you crazy?
You said you wanted us back at once, that something important had come up.
Ah, you're out of your mind.
What?
In the first place, I didn't know where you were. In the second place, if I had telegraphed, it would have been to tell you that you're fired.
Wait a minute. You mean to say you didn't send me a wire early this evening at 7 o'clock?
I did not.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I crazy?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Oh, where's Lois?
One thing at a time, Mr. White. You did send a wire to the Barrow Ranch, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Now, listen, Kent.
I don't understand this.
There are a few things that I don't understand either. Now, where's Lois?
I don't know.
Wasn't she with you?
Yes, but she disappeared off the train.
What?
Now, wait.
She
now,
disappeared
wait,
off the...
Please, let's get things straight. It wasn't you who sent the first telegram.
How many times do I have to...
All right.
Kent, if this is your idea of a joke...
It's no joke, Mr. White. It's pretty serious. Now, listen to me. Jimmy ran into some trouble at the Barrow Dude Ranch. Lois and I went up to straighten it out. We were about to return when a wire came through signed by you. It said to come back at once. Something important had come up.
I didn't wire you or anyone else.
I suppose not, if you say so. Well, anyway, we took the first train out, the Tri-State Limited. Just after we pulled out of Glenwood, the porter gave me a telegram. Again, it was signed with your name, and it said for Jimmy and myself to get off at Walden Junction and for Lois to go on to Metropolis.
I never sent that telegram either.
I know it. That one was a fake, but I fell for it. Jimmy and I got off. We waited around for 10 minutes before I realized the telegram wasn't authentic. Then I followed the train.
How?
Why, I hired a car.
You mean to say you caught the Limited in the car?
Well, you see, it was a fast car. I mean...
All right. Go ahead. Now, what happened?
Well, I got aboard the train. The door to Lois's drawing room was locked. The porter opened it, but she wasn't there.
Probably in the club car.
No, she wasn't. We searched the train thoroughly. She wasn't on board.
Kent, do you expect me to swallow that? The Limited doesn't stop between Walden Junction and Metropolis. She couldn't have gotten off.
Mr. White, I tell you, she wasn't on that train. She's gone. Vanished.
Now, look, Kent. Wait a minute. Perry White speaking.
Hello, Mr. White.
Lois.
Is Clark Kent there?
Yes, he is. But where under the sun are you?
Look, let me speak to Clark quickly.
Yes, but I know not... Oh, all right. Here, Kent. She wants to speak to you.
Okay. Lois, what in the name of
Look, I
heaven...
haven't much time, Clark. Listen, don't worry. Everything is all right. I'll call you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
But, Lois, you
Goodbye.
Wait a minute, look. She hung up.
Listen, Kent. What's this all about?
That's what I'd like to know, Mr. White.
Well, it looks like someone is weaving the web of a baffling mystery around Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Perry White. How did Lois vanish from the train, and where is she now? And who was responsible for the false telegrams? This is just the beginning, so don't miss a single mystifying episode. Tune in and follow the story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman! Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. Ordered back to Metropolis by an urgent telegram from editor Perry White, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and young Jimmy Olsen left the Barrow Dude Ranch and caught the Tri-State Limited for the city. En route, Kent received another telegram from Perry White telling him to get off at Walden Junction with Jimmy and instructing Lois to continue on to Metropolis. When no one met them at the Walden Junction station, Kent examined the telegram closely and decided it was a fake. Leaving Jimmy to take the next train, Kent followed the Limited as Superman. Once on board, he resumed his reporter's disguise, only to find that Lois had vanished, was nowhere on the train. At the Daily Planet office, Kent was faced with more mystery. Editor White denied having sent the first telegram summoning them back. Puzzled, Kent was at a loss to explain what had happened to Lois or who was responsible for the mystery, when the phone rang and Lois' excited voice sounded over the wire. "I haven't time to explain," she said. "Everything's all right. I'll call you tomorrow morning at 10. And with that, she hung up. As our story continues today, both Kent and Perry White have spent a sleepless night worrying. It is 5 minutes to 10, and the two men are seated in White's office awaiting Lois's call.
There's something missing in your story, Kent. It just doesn't make sense.
I'm the first one to admit that, Mr. White. But there's nothing missing. I told you everything had happened.
Well, how did Lois get off the train, as you seem to think she did, if it didn't stop between Walden Junction and Metropolis?
I could answer that. I wouldn't be sitting here waiting for a phone call.
It's a lot of nonsense. She was on that train. You just couldn't find her. Probably didn't want you to find her.
Well, now, does that make sense?
Well, why not? Maybe she ran across a good story and didn't want you to horn in on it.
What about the telegram to the Barrow Ranch? She couldn't have sent that. What about the telegram I received on the train?
Wouldn't surprise me if she framed all that up to get you out of the way.
I doubt it. That must be Lois.
I'll take it. Hello?
Mr. White,
Lois, where are you?
I can't tell you now.
What do you mean?
Believe me, I just can't. Is Clark there?
Yes?
Let me speak to him.
You'll finish with me first. Now, look here, young lady.
Please, Mr. White, this is important. Put Clark on.
All right. Here, Kent.
Thanks. Hello, Lois.
Clark, we've got to work fast.
Now, Lois, wait a minute.
Now, listen to me. I've uncovered the biggest story of the century.
Where are you?
Never mind that now. Listen, I need $20,000 in cash immediately.
I know.
I said that I need $20,000 in cash immediately.
Wait a minute. She says she needs $20,000 immediately.
Is she crazy? Let me talk to her.
No, wait. Lois, why must you have all that money?
Don't ask questions, Clark. Tell Mr. White that he'll get it back, but I've got to have it by noon today. Send Jimmy with it. Tell him to deliver it to, Now, wait a minute. You'd better let Mr. White bring it himself.
Now, look, Lois.
And stick around the office, because I'll have to phone the story into you when it breaks.
Lois, what in heaven's name is
Tell
this?
Mr. White to bring the money to 407 South Street. You got that? Now, I'll be waiting there for him. I've got to go now.
Lois, wait a minute. I want... Lois. Hung up.
What's this about $20,000? Is she out of her mind?
Oh, she said you're to deliver it to her at 407 South Street before noon.
Huh?
Yes, and I'm to stay here to get the story when she phones it in.
Story? What story?
I don't know. The biggest story of the century, she said.
No story on earth is worth $20,000.
She said you'd get the money back.
And I'm to deliver it?
Yes, to 407 South Street.
Well, I can promise you it won't leave my hands until I'm certain I'll get it back. And, how does she want it? Cash or check, did she say?
Cash.
All right. But if this doesn't pan out, Miss Lane is going to be out looking for a job. I'm fed up with her shenanigans.
Lois wouldn't pull anything like this as a joke.
Well, I hope not. I'll have to call Darwin, the cashier, and have him run over to the bank. Did she say anything about big bills or small bills?
No, just $20,000 in cash.
No, this newspaper business is a madhouse. Oh, Miss Harvey, get Darwin, the cashier. Tell him I want to see him immediately. Yes, that's all.
Gosh, I don't understand what Lois can possibly have up her sleeve. My mind's a complete blank.
If you ask me, hers is, too. But don't worry. Nobody gets a dime of that $20,000 until I see what's what. Come in.
You wanted to see me, Mr. White?
Yes, Darwin. Come in. You know Clark Kent?
Yes, of course.
Hello, Mr. Darwin.
Darwin, I want you to issue a check for $20,000.
20,000?
Yes. Make it out to me. I'll endorse it. And then send it down to the bank and get it cashed.
You mean you want $20,000 in cash, Mr. White?
Yeah. Have it issued in $1,000 bills. And you better hurry. There isn't much time. Well, what are you waiting for?
$20,000 in cash. My.
I'm in a hurry, Darwin. Get going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. $20,000.
Now, what was that address, Kent?
407 South Street.
What time is it?
10:15.
And she said to deliver the money before noon, didn't she?
Yes. Maybe I'd better go along with you, Mr. White.
What? Don't you think I can be trusted?
Oh, it's not that, but I just thought...
I won't need any bodyguard. And anyway, you're supposed to stay here to write the story of the century when Lois phones it in. Story of the century. I'll lay 10 to 1 this is all a lot of nonsense.
I don't think so.
We'll find out soon enough. I'm going down for a cup of coffee. You hang around. When Darwin comes back with a check, tell him to wait.
Okay.
If anyone calls, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Right. What in heaven's name would Lois need with $20,000? Oh, sir, there's something wrong somewhere. Now I'm going to check just for fun. Operator, get me information, please, will you? Thank you. If I only knew how and where she got off that train, I might be able to see...
This is information.
Oh, information. I'd like the telephone number of a house at 407 South Street.
What is the name of the party?
I'm sorry, I don't have the name, just the address. 407 South Street.
One moment, please.
Thank you. Come in. Oh, yes, Mr. Darwin.
I have the check for Mr. White to enjoy.
Yes, come in and sit down, will you? Mr. White will be up in a moment.
I'm sorry, sir, but we have no number listed for 407 South Street.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. White went down for a cup of coffee, Mr. Darwin. He should be back in a moment.
It's quite all right, Mr. Kent.
Won't you sit down?
Thank you. You excuse me if I seem a little nervous.
Nervous? Oh, what's the trouble?
Well, $20,000 in cash is a lot of money, Mr. Kent.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to go to the bank for it myself. I wouldn't dare trust anyone else. $20,000. I've never seen that much money at one time, ever.
Oh, here's Mr. White.
Oh, yes.
You got that check, Darwin?
Yes, sir, right here.
Good. I'll endorse it. Now, why in tarnation's name that secretary of mine can't learn to keep ink in this desk is beyond me. It's always empty.
Yeah, I have a fountain pen, Mr. White. There you are, sir.
Thanks. There you are, Darwin. Now get the cash back to me as fast as you can.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's your pen.
Oh, thank you, sir. I wouldn't want to lose it. I always say a man's pen is perhaps the most...
Yes, of course, Darwin, of course. Now get that check cashed quickly.
I'm going to the bank myself, Mr. White.
Fine, but don't waste any time.
No, sir.
Anyone call, Kent?
No, but I checked on 407 South Street. No phone.
So what? Every house in Metropolis isn't equipped with a telephone.
I know.
Some of them haven't even got bathtubs. Does that surprise you?
You don't seem to be taking this seriously, Mr. White.
Well, what do you want me to do? Call out the state militia?
Well, hardly, but I do wish you'd let me go along with you. After all, $20,000 is a lot of money to be carrying around with you. Anything might happen.
No, don't worry. Nothing's going to happen.
All right. You're the boss. I got some work to do in my own office. I'll be waiting for the story.
And don't hold your breath.
Well, it's 12 noon. I should have heard from Mr. White or Lois by this time. Wonder whether... Oh, maybe that's the call. Hello?
Kent?
Yes, Mr. White. Well, I wondered what happened to you.
Everything's okay. Lois uncovered a whale of a story.
Oh, that's swell. I'm ready to take it.
We can't give it to you yet.
What?
No. Now, listen.
Yes?
I'll need another $20,000.
Well, what?
Yes, and I must have it fast.
Well, wait a minute now. How am I going to get it? Darwin won't give it to me.
Who?
Darwin, the cashier.
Yes. Well, tell him I said it was okay.
That won't be enough. What are you doing with all that money?
Never mind. I'll call Darwin directly and tell him to give the money to you. Deliver it to 407 South Street as fast as you can.
What's this all about, Mr. White?
I can't tell you now, but it's terrific.
Well...
I'll call Darwin. And don't waste a second getting over here.
Yeah, but
So long.
Mr. White, where are you calling from? Mr. White? Hello? Hello? Hello, Mr. White?
I'm sorry, sir, but your party disconnected.
Okay, can you trace the call?
We have no way of tracing a call once the party disconnects, sir.
Oh, all right, thank you. Something very queer about all this. And I think I know what it is.
Well, if Clark Kent does, he's smarter than we are because, frankly, we're puzzled. Why does Perry White need another $20,000? And what is the story that Lois has uncovered? Something is going to break soon, so don't fail to be on hand when it does. Tune in and follow the exciting story with Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.